Hey guys, this is Rachelle. I am doing my first pattern. I am a video novice, so bear with me. I'm doing the Cased-Pleat pattern, and I hope you enjoy it.
Okay, we're back in our sewing space. Okay, now I'm going to do the casings. Now the casings we just fold in half, meet edges. We're doing a 1/2 inch seam allowance on this. I just like to do a whole bunch at once. So I'm just going to start popping them through. Okay. So if you make more than one, which most people will make, I'll just do a bunch all at once. Okay, so this is what we call our casing loop. Okay, now it's not really going to matter if it matches the fabric or not. It's not going to show a ton, but I know you guys like to express a little design creativity, which I do too, to be honest. And, you know, so do what you feel to match up or not match up casing loop fabrics, okay? All right. So we're going to stitch these all together. Okay, I'll get these stitched all together. I'm going to edit the video a little bit so that, maybe I'll have two more. Okay. So this casing loop, what's going to happen is we're going to use it like a, we're going to make, so it's obviously a looped fabric, but then it gives us finished edges already, and it hides the cut edges very well. Now you're like, do I need to finish that little edge? Probably is what you're going to be thinking, and I'm going to tell you no. You don't need to finish the edge. This happens in manufacturing all the time. If the cut edges are covered and secure, they won't ravel, they won't fray, and it'll hold up just fine. So now that we have these loops done, I'm just gonna clip these apart. Okay, so we have all the different loops. Okay, now I like to do a thing called finger press. Okay, which is just opening the seam, taking my nail or my finger. I like my nail just because it's a little more precise. Okay, and then opening that. Okay, so what this does, it helps the seam pop out. Okay, and it just makes it, and it's super easy. It's like the most underrated form of pressing. Okay, so now we've got our loop. Our casing loop is done. Now the casing loop is going to look like this when you get it done. This is how it will be attached to the mask. Okay, not too shabby, right? Okay, all right. I'm going to turn the rest of these. Well, I'll do one more so you can see. Okay, you got your 1/2 inch seam. Okay, we're doing 1/2 inch seam for durability. Okay, 1/2 inch seam for durability. And then we press open, finger press open, because, well, these things are not the easiest things to iron. Okay, and you flip it, and you got your loop. Okay, cool. I'll be back. Okay, so we are on to the next step. We've got our casing loops all done and turned. We've got our fronts and backs. We have our inner lining or filter layer. Okay, so I'm going to put this fabric with a back fabric that I like. Okay, put these two together. Okay, all right, and match up our tops. Let's see, there's the top. I got these upside down. Okay, so match up our tops. Make sure we have our top and bottom together. You can even pin them or mark them if you want to make sure that you keep your tops and bottoms together. Or know which sides are tops, which sides are bottoms, so that you don't flip them upside down just because this is a directional pattern. I'm just lining everything up. Now, against the face plate, so I want this one to be, so I'm going to do that on the inside, and I'm going to do this one on the outside. Oops, can you kind of see? I'm going to put that on the face and then this on the back. Now we're going to take the filter layer and just place it right on top of the face. Okay, and just do your best to get these all matched up as closely as possible. I'm probably doing a less good job than most of you would do, but I was gonna say, so you've got all of your notches lined up. Okay. All right. That way we can get, then we've got the tops of the fabric, so we know that's the top, and then we know which pleats are top and bottom. Okay, so just get those lined up as possible. Now, if you would need a pin, great. I don't know, I'm just so used to not pinning, and cotton is such a lovely forgiving fabric. Okay, so we're doing 1/4-inch seams on these. Okay, so this is like a little narrow seam. Quilters will be totally used to this. I was gonna say, just make sure you're catching all your layers, and you may want to do a smaller stitch length. Okay. Okay, and like I showed with the casing loops, if you want to do, you know, multiple in a row, you could do that. Okay, and then you just take the next layer and bloop. Okay, so that's my favorite thing to do if we're doing multiple things, because it makes it go so much faster. Okay, so just make sure that you've caught all your layers. Okay, all right, and then you could do a whole bunch if you wanted, and then I'm going to go through and I'm going to do the other side. So 1/4-inch seam on the top and bottom. Make sure all your layers are even so that you can catch all of them in the seam. And you can pin or clip or whatever works for you to keep fabric together. With cotton, it's so easy to just, for me to just go on. Once again, once I've got this sewn top and bottom, we're gonna go, you know, and we're gonna finger press again, okay? Just all the way across. If you have like a sleeve roll or something and you want to do this on the iron and that's more convenient for you to do it with your sleeve roll in the iron, you know, go for it if that works for you better. But I'm like any moment that I have to like walk over the iron and press, that makes it so that I have less time to sew. So I am all about like finger press. So because it's quick, it's easy, and it works. So, okay, so finger press here, okay. And it doesn't really matter which layer you get. Whichever you will, you're gonna be pulling the seam up, you know, so if you're not going between the two layers that are gonna end up being on each side, that doesn't matter. Just grab a layer, pull, press, it'll work. Okay. All right, so just, there you go. Finger press, pull inside, whoop. Okay, I have to have my sound effects. Okay, okay. So now we've got all of our layers, okay? This is our top, this is our bottom. If you need to pin it, I would recommend doing that just so that you remember which is top and bottom. Okay, and so now that we've got our finger press down, see how nicely that works? Okay, so now I'm gonna top stitch. But before I top stitch, I'm gonna start on the top just so that I don't have any confusion. Okay, and then I'm gonna find my center mark, and if you lost the center mark, you know, it's easy enough to find it. Just half. It's right there, pinch. Okay, you can see the little bend. Okay, now we're gonna line up our little seam guide, right here. Okay. Okay, line it up. And just line it up with the top of the fabric. That should give enough space. So we're gonna top stitch to the tape. And then we get to the tape. I think that's about right there. Okay, turn. We're gonna sew down the outside of the tape. And if you happen to sew through the tape, you know, no biggie. And if you happen to overstitch like I just did right there, it's a lot easier to do in an industrial machine. Okay, if you stitch over the tape, no big deal, it will pull out. If you stitch, you know, don't stitch too far away from it. Okay. So now we're gonna leave this end open to slide the stuff through the casing. But this also gives us like a reinforced stitch for our casing, okay? So now we're just gonna go back and stitch what we just stitched, leaving the one side open, okay? Okay, now once you have gotten back to where your original top stitching was, okay, just needle down, pull the tape off. Whoop. Don't need that anymore. Okay, and then we're gonna finish top stitching across the edge. Okay, I'm trying to do about 1/8 of an inch. Some of you are doing a little bit wider. It shouldn't be a big deal, to be honest. Don't do up to, like, if you're doing more than 1/4 inch, you might have a little snug fit on your casing. Okay, so hopefully you can see that. So we've got the top stitch. Let's see if we can do that. You got your top stitch. You've got this that you've gone down and back on and across. Okay, So that should give a nice firm hold for our casings. Okay. And then next step we're going to do is the other side. Just top stitch in the other side. Okay. And like I said, you can always do this in a row. You know, that's, you know, a lot of people are doing that. This is designed to do a multiple row like that, just to speed up production. Okay. So now we're going to do the top stitching on the bottom. Okay. This just keeps the mask kind of in place. Just a little bit of, you know, structure. Also can help keep the nose. It can keep the fit, the seal to the face a little better because it makes the fabric doesn't stretch out as much. And I'm sewing 100% polyester thread, which I don't always do, but if we're worried about any shrinkage, especially because we're going to wash these in super hot water, the polyester is going to be a better option. Okay. All right. Okay. So we've got top and bottom done. Top and bottom done, casing, and top stitching done. Okay. Okay, so now we've got our nose wire that we're going to use. Okay. We're going to put the nose wire in. Okay. So we're going to take the nose wire and just insert the nose wire in through the side. Now where I want to put this actually is in front of the filter layer and behind the face one. That gives it so it's more comfortable on the user side, okay, but also presses down all the layers of fabric the best. Okay, so and just slide it into place. Okay, now you know how I said that maybe you're going to end up with a little longer? That's okay. Okay, so what you're going to do now, and then just make sure that you're not hitting that needle with the wire. Okay, but you're going to just stitch right. You're going to stitch right here to encase the wire. Okay. And I just go down and back. If it's not perfect, nobody cares. It will still work. Okay. Practicality is the name of the game here, guys. All right. So snip off all my things. I'm a snipper. If you guys want to leave the things and cut them at the end, I don't care. Nobody's going to care. They got something that works. It's great. Go for it. Okay. So as you can see here, we've got our thing and it's encased. It's all done. And there you go. So that you can fit it around your nose. Okay. Okay. So now we're going to do pleats. Okay. And you've got the marked notches on these ends. I can see them in my middle layer. Okay. They don't have to be perfect, but you want to get close. Okay. Definitely. I use the clips or the pins for this. Okay. So we're going to do the first one and you just march. I'm going to see if we can get a little closer so you can see. So we just match up the notches and then you just fold that top one back. Okay, that's it. So pleat. I'm trying to keep this out of the pressing need as much as possible. This is what manufacturing, you don't do a lot of pressing, so you have to figure out like how you do it without having to iron everything. Okay, so this is my goal. Also, we'll make it shorter for you guys to do. Okay, so there is a lot of pleats in this. There's a lot of pleats, but we're finding that that actually holds it onto the side of the face better. So that's why I'm doing it this way. Okay. All right. So we've got those. They're in place. Oops. Okay. Okay. So you got your pleats in place. Okay. And then you're going to take your little loop fabric here. So you're going to fold the loop in half. Let's see. Oh, yes, I'm being particular and I'm going to make it a matching fabric. Okay. So we're going to get your loop and you're going to fold it in half like this. Okay. All right. Now your loop fabric should go from end to end. It seems really narrow, but we're finding that works better. Okay. Now the one thing that this is thick. So get your denim needles or your larger sizes needles and use that and stitch slow. Because if anything, you can always use your flywheel, you know, you can like twist your flywheel and do that through them if your machine's struggling at all. But it's nice and short, so that's not too hard to do that through there. Okay. Okay. All right. So now we're ready to stitch. Okay. And then you may want to go, I don't know, trying to think if there's other options. I was gonna say, just be careful because these pleats flipping up, you may want to either pin them in place or just make sure that they're not flipping down when you sew them. Okay, and then this is a 1/2 inch seam, so for durability. Okay, and if your loops are not 100% lined up, it's not going to be the end of the world. And try to see if we can get that a little more even, but no, not the biggest deal. Okay. Okay. All right. Great. Got that all stitched. Okay. Okay. Take the pins out. Boop, 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 boop. Okay. And you've got your pleats. Okay. Pleats done. Okay. Now, like I said, if the thing is not exactly on, no big deal. Our next step is so you can trim once you get to this level, especially, so I wouldn't trim the loop level, but you could certainly trim the pleat layer down, okay? So I'm gonna do that now. Okay, so I'm just gonna trim these down just a little bit. I kind of do it as an angle. That way all the layers aren't even. And that makes for a little bit better folds. Just make sure you're not cutting any of the loop layer. Okay, good. Easy enough. Okay, so now we're just gonna turn it like this. We're gonna use our finger press, if you want. Finger press options. See those down a little bit, spread them across. See how those go into different layers now that I did an angle? Okay, good. All right, now, okay, now, and it's okay to let it spread a little bit because that's exactly what your mask is gonna do when you wear it. Okay. Okay. And then we're just gonna stitch down this side of the casing. And I'm just doing about an eighth of an inch into the casing. I don't know, it might be closer to the 16th, but either way, it'll work. If you have any trouble with bulk on the one side, you could use like a one-sided foot or something like that. I don't know. My first thinking is that I will just sew right through it. Just like, it's fine, I'll push it through. That's kind of what I do. Okay. Right. Okay, so that is the one side of the mask. Okay. It's all ready to go. Okay. And as I was saying, ready to be. Now, one thing that you can do if you want, okay, so see how we've got our little loop layer? Okay, sometimes it's a little harder to see. Okay, so that's our little loop layer. So one thing that you can do is either tack stitch this. So we want to do the loop layer, not the cut fabric layer, the loop layer. You can either like hand stitch this or tack stitch it really quick so that we're not accidentally threading things through the wrong layer. Although you could probably thread it through the wrong layer, it would be fine. Okay, so I'm going to do like a little tack stitch. Okay, just like a couple stitches back and forth is all we're going to do. And I know that my rest foot is on the needle, but I'm going to ignore that for a second, okay? Okay, so and then for this, I just go back and forth a couple times. Okay, and that way we don't loop our loopers or fabric or whatever. When we're doing our elastic or fabric loops, twill tape, you know, bias tape if you have that binding, you know, so for the ties or the elastic that you're using. Okay. Okay, and I just do that on both sides. That way we make sure that we're going through the actual casing part of our casing. Okay. Okay. And like I said, you could just do a little hand stitch thing, or if you wanted, you know, you can just do a little hand stitch if that's easier, and you can do these like all at once. For your friends who don't machine sew, but they hand sew, like I know a lot of people that crochet and stuff will use their hands a lot, and they can do like whip stitches really fast. I'm not like I'll be honest, I'm not the fastest sewer. my brain's thoughts faster than my hands. But okay, so we're just putting that tack stitch into place. It's just like back stitching back and forth over it just a couple times. Okay. All right. So that's the casing. Okay, you got your tack stitching here and here. Casing stitched down, and it's all ready to go. Ready for some elastic or you know, twill tape or whatever you decide you're going to do. Okay, and then you just do the other side. I'm going to show you the pleating on the other side just because it might be just ever so slightly different. I'm going the different way. Okay, we're still going down, so you know where our top is. So the pleats are going down. This helps, like if water drips, it doesn't end up in a pocket because that would be bad. So for my nursing days, I know that you don't want any pockets that gape open because stuff will end up in there that you don't want in there. It's just a fact of life. Okay. Like I said, I'm not super precise here, but you know, you want to get pretty close. So you're going to match up the two colors that go together. Flip the top one right where the notch is. Okay, you got your pleats done. I'm not pressing these at all. I'm not gonna. No need for it. I know a lot of people are being super particular and they're awesome for doing it that way. I'm all about speed and efficiency, so that's what we're gonna do. Okay. Oops. You could put this on the outside, but it's probably going to wear better in the middle. Okay, so you got a casing all lined up. Okay, all right. Okay, casing is lined up. Okay, more or less. Doesn't have to be perfect. Okay. Sorry, I'm a reformed perfectionist, and so anytime I'm like, oh man, that's not right. Okay, you should see me so wedding dresses there. I just die if they're not perfect. So, but you know, I was gonna say some things just don't matter. And you know what? Everybody who's doing this, I'm just like amazed, and just you know, we're amazing people. Okay, everybody that's doing this is just amazing. You know, what good hearts. You know, I really feel like you know we're saving lives. You know, protecting the lives of the frontline healthcare workers. You know, I'm also a nurse, but I have my people to care for. Oh, I'm gonna give a shout out to my production manager who's helping me. Production manager for these videos, who's helping me, you know, turn off and get supplies. She's been a huge help. Leah, do you want to say hi? As I say, don't get in the video, just say, use your voice.
Hi.
So Leah's been helping me out with all of these.
Yes.
She's been in good health. So this is I think I called it my quote day job because, well, it is. And so she's been really helpful so that I can do these and also do my job with her. So if you need to pin, right at the moment, I feel like I'm going to pin on that one just because I want to. Okay. Okay, you do want it to kind of roll a little bit more out so that you're not seeing the casing as much. Okay. Okay, so we're almost done with the face part of the mask. Good deal. And I just broke my needle. That is life. We're just sewing the second casing. Like I said, if the pleats spread out a little bit, not a problem. You're gonna actually kind of want that so that everything, yes, I'm sewing over the pins. That's why I broke my needle just a second ago. Okay. I'm used to using industrial machines, but I thought for this tutorial it'd be better for like a home. I have a Singer that I use that's old that it sews like an industrial. So that's what I tend to use a lot of times. But I wanted you guys to see what it looked like and show you that, you know, even your machine can do this. Okay. All right. So see, it's not like 100% perfect. I mean, you can see if we pulled this that we'd get pleats, but we don't need pleats in there because the pleats are just going to be let out when they're worn. Okay. So no need to press, no need to do anything like that. Our casings are sewn in. We're all set up like that. Let me show you the hand tack method. So what I would do, honestly, is just once you've got like a whole bunch of these done, I would just like, if you're not gonna machine tack them because it is like a little tricky. If you're gonna just hand tack them, then you know just get all of them done to this point. and then just, I have like 3 needles on there. Get all of them done to this point, and then you can just hand tuck them all together. You know, that's kind of the manufacturer way. You do each step of the way. So I'm going to kind of take the needle to kind of poke anything out, poke anything in that's like sticking out and shouldn't be. And then we're just going to do a couple tacks through. And you want to do it through most of the layers. Okay. You like do 2 loop ties and then trim it off. Okay, good. There you go. And Taylor's knot again, so we can see it. Okay. Twist, pull. Okay. That was less perfect. Usually I'm closer to the end, but it'll work. That's kind of my make it work, right? Is that the Tim Gunn saying? Make it work. Okay, so now we're ready to do the elastics. Okay, and what I found is I'm going to do the elastics about 8 inches long. Because we have the extra casing. So this one's probably about 8 inches long. I was going to say I'm cutting the regular kind of, this is a non-latex spaghetti elastic. This one is a lot more firm than the ones that you get in the, you know, these cheapo surgical paste. You can kind of even see that they're like a different diameter. You know, because, and we're doing it the casing method because this is one of the biggest complaints that I'm hearing from places that are getting things. Okay, I mean, oh gosh, that was a lot easier. I'm like crying because I'm breaking PPE, but that is the biggest complaint we're having, is that after wearing these a lot, they're just pulling out and poop, they're done. Okay, so with the casings, we can put whatever we want in there and we can replace it really easily. Okay, and that's kind of what I was thinking with the casing on the nose wire as well. I was gonna say you just have to pop a few stitches open, you know, and at the top, and then you can just sew it back if we ever have a problem with the nose wire. Okay, so for the regular 1/4 inch elastic, which this has been donated by my mom because, you know, elastics in short supply. I have, I think I have about 400 or 500 yards still coming. Okay, so these ones are not quite as stretchy as these. You can kind of see the difference. You know, this is like really a lot stretchier. So this isn't quite as stretchy. So because this is about 2 inches, okay, and what we've been doing for a lot of things is like, you know, the 7-inch one is about what most people are using. So I'm been cutting this one. Now we're also allowing for a, you know, some amount to be tied. Okay, and because this needs about like a 1/2 inch tail and then the tie, okay, so we're gonna need about, so 8.5 inches in stretch, okay, and then we're gonna need another almost inch, okay, so for the tails and the tie, okay, so I'm doing 9.5 inches on this one, okay, 7, 8, 9.5. I'm just doing my quick measuring here. Okay, so there's 9.5. So about 9.5, 9.5. Okay, so you know we can do these like about 9.5 inches long. Okay. Okay, and then this one I'm cutting about 8 because these are more stretchy, and I tested it out, and that one's the one that works. There's also a couple other methods, which I will show you in a second, of how you can tie them, but for the time being, we're probably just going to stick to doing the ear loops, okay, because that was the initial requested for, what I had requested, okay. So we're going to cut 2 more little ear loops, and I've gone through and usually cut a whole bunch of these at a time, okay. All right, so there is the elastic. Okay, so now I just take my threader tool. This is my own little creation. I'll probably do another video on how to do these. Okay, you just flip it over and thread it through. You can also use like a safety pin or something else, okay? Okay. All right, so once you get these pulled through, and then this is the easy part, okay? So instead of sewing anything, this holds really, really well. And this is
This is really good for, so you want to tie them both together like this. This is also a knot that we use in manufacturing for this exact reason. Okay. And then tie it close to the ends as much as you can. Okay, now this, and then I just kind of pull it. See how well this holds. Look at me, I'm pulling on this. Like, I'm strong. Okay. Haha, that thing is gonna hold, guys. Okay. Isn't this awesome? Okay, and then just pull your little casing back through. Okay. Okay. That's it. Done. Okay. The other one. Okay. Should we have a little like a half inch tail? Okay. Pull tight, pull through. Bloop. Okay. So now you've got it. That's it. It's the entire mask. Okay. They should work up pretty quick. Love it. Okay. And then, of course, you've got your nose wire, all that kind of stuff. Easy peasy. Okay. All right. So that's this option. Okay. You can see how this mask fits. You know, we've put the nose wire into place and fitted it. Like I said, the jewelry wire is a little stiffer, but it molds really well. And just over the thing. If you find that you want it a little bit tighter, you could always put tighter things, you know, but it's pretty snug across the chin here. That's all for now, guys. I appreciate you watching. Hope it helped you. I hope it gave you some ideas. And I will hopefully see you another time.